Wow, awesome. Okay, welcome to our July 19th, 2017 EIA report. This is brought to you by Epic de Algo. This is Epic's charting, actually just a little piece of Epic's charting. Our report is about 11 minutes away. Yesterday, oil got into the target area for Tuesday at 4:30. Didn't quite get right to the cent. Got really close though. Definitely tradable considering that that was published on Sunday. So we produce targets for Tuesday at 4:30, Wednesday at 10:30, and Friday at 1 o'clock for our traders. Today, price got right into near the middle of the target. It's come up out and into some resistance zones and might come back into the target here. So this, if you look at the bottom of the chart where it says 10:30 and then you go vertically up that line, that's our 10:30 timing. And then if you take this gray line here, it's an algo line that goes right through the two targets. The one for yesterday at 4:30, so the time's down there. Now, actually, that time, these lines move sometimes. So I'm going to put it where it was supposed to be, right there at 4:30. And you can see the candle wick actually at the top getting right close into the middle, almost to the middle of the target. So today's target is right here at 46.41 on FX USOIL WTI. So you have to add a little bit for CL. This blue cluster horizontal lines, those are conventional fib resistance and support. Same with the red there, horizontal. That purple and that purple is conventional resistance from previous time cycles, time frames. These diagonal lines, those are quad walls on the algorithm. And I can't really tell you much more about the algorithm. You'd have to go to the YouTube channel to see how to use Epic's charting. It would, it has historical charting on there. I can't, under my compliance with our institutional agreements, I can't broadcast the whole chart, unfortunately. But if you look at previous, so we have time right now. We may as well take a quick look here. So, one way to get there would be just to go to Twitter, Kurt Melanopoly, or you could go to Compound Trading's website, compoundtrading.com. That was a gorgeous dinner last night. That was awesome. Definitely a blessing to have that as a front yard. So yeah, you can do it a number of different ways. Compoundtrading.com you can go to, but here's the YouTube link. And on YouTube, on Compound Trading's channel, you can go to videos or playlists. There's a bunch of raw data on here, but there's videos like this review of Epic, one of the trades. It'll show you the charting and how it works, but there are specific videos on how to use the charting itself. Wow, we've got a bunch of different categories here. There's a lot of raw oil trading room. Anyway, you'd have to work through here. I haven't been in here. I know they're in here. I'm sure the oil trading room would have some 6 videos there. Well, we may as well. We have time. Let's find it. Algorithm reviews. This is probably where you'll find it. Yeah, so here's Epic stuff. Our gold algo. some middays, how to use and how to trade intraday. Yeah, and you could just Google that too, right? You could just Google Epic. I'm pretty sure if you Google, I've never done it. Let's try Epic, the oil algo. Looks like somebody else on this system was doing it. Yeah, there you go. So there's Epic's Twitter feed. That's another place to get links. Yep. And then there's, so, you know, on Epic's Twitter feed, you'll see links to the various videos, etc. Then there's the website, of course. On the website, what the website will do to help you to understand how the algorithm was developed and what discipline we follow. By the way, Epic has some of the better or more successful money managers using it, and some smaller ones too in retail. Oil's bullish here, by the way. I'll just show you quick how to get around. So on the About Epic stories here, a little bit about my disciplines, our algorithm development processes here. So if you click here, it'll give you an idea of what discipline we use to build our algorithms. Sorry, this is a little slow here. My internet's definitely throttled. I'm in a beach house and I've got 6 laptops going with significant data on each. I am wired for fiber, but okay, so this video actually explains exactly the discipline that we use. So Jim Simmons' interview will give you an idea of the discipline we use. You can also, so we're 4 minutes away. I got to get back to the charting here. Yeah, on Investopedia, they have a breakdown of different algorithm building disciplines. We don't use any of them that are listed there, so it breaks out what we don't do. This post here, why and how our stock algorithms are different than most. That'll tell you a little bit about, I wrote that article, you know, quick just to help people out that way. And then on the subscription menu, there is a description. And of course, we're very transparent, and our members can tell you their experience with Epic. You can also go to our free chat room and just ask any of our members anytime what their experience has been like with Epic. To get to that chat room, you would just go to my feed and then this Discord free chat room. And you can go in there and chat with members anytime you like at your leisure. Well, that's right on Epic's feed. So in the shop area of the website, so yeah, there's a 24-hour trading room, standalone Epic newsletter. We actually have oil alerts too. And then there's the there's more and more of these institutional type folks using Epic. So there's multi-user platforms. And what we do is we send a technician that's trained in the use of the algorithm to work with your staff. And then they're on call 24 hours for your staff. So that's the commercial license area. So that's a multi-user. So that's kind of how you get around. We'll get back to the actual charting here and see what happens at this report. I'd like to take a trade on myself. So here's that post. And you can just Google any of this, I guess. Looks like Google's picked up Epic quite well. Yeah. Okay. So that's how you find your way around. These videos will tell you a fair bit how it works. Normally I would tell you more about how it works, but I just can't get into a lot of the charting. So it's better you go to the YouTube channel, you know, because the historical charting's on there. I just can't broadcast the whole chart in real time anymore to the general public. Okay, so we are less than 2 minutes. I think we're 1 minute and 13 seconds away from the report. This is the target for Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on FX USOIL at 46.41. I got into the target area here in the last hour and then came out. That's very tradable considering these targets come out on Sundays. That's not the main way to trade Epic though, by the way. That's like number 6 or 7 on the list of best ways. There's much better ways to trade Epic. And they're listed on the website. We have historical posts, by the way, too, on our blog. But if you just go to Google and type in Epic to oil algo, I guess you'll get to everything. So oil's trading basically high of day, up. Real nice today. We're getting into report time now. So is that 1 minute and 17 before report or 17 before the report? I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? Looks like 10 seconds to the report. There's a report and boom, straight up. Wow, aggressive. So we'll see how it handles this resistance. There's resistance at that purple line. And then there's also resistance at this orange line here on the algorithm. So before I take a trade, I'll let it settle out a little bit. This could be just some fairly significant short covering. Anybody get the numbers on EIA yet? So see how it handles resistance here. Thanks, Matt. Wow. Interesting numbers. Wow. Crude minus 4.72 million. Cushing minus 0.02. Gasoline minus 4.54. Distillates minus 2.13. Imports 0.57. It's potentially going to cause a fairly bullish area of trading here. The reason why I'm hesitating is I know in the algorithm, you know, without giving you every detail, there's some fairly significant resistance above here, and if it gets above, then it's into a whole new trading range, and that would be significant in terms of the algorithm. So the next few minutes here will decide that. Well, it won't decide it, but it'll give us a pretty good indication. So basically right now, from the algorithm's perspective, what I can tell you is we're watching these horizontal purple lines. They're not real serious resistance, but they're resistance. More importantly, this diagonal algorithm line here, this diagonal algorithm line here, and on Epic's charting, the thicker the line, more important they are. And this diagonal line here. So that basically puts a expiry of this trading area. Well, there's one here, depending on where oil stays in trade. So I'll show you kind of how the time expiries work on the algorithm. So if I draw it out, it'll help. But so if you just put a simple triangle on the chart, so, and then you just look at what time that's at. So that's July 20th at 2:30 in the morning. So 2:30. So the upcoming trading session. Now that's while oil trades inside of here. If it pops out of there, well, that's a different story. Now there's a larger decision that comes in right here. So all you do is you take here, so if you're using Epic's charting, of course, when we send a technician to work with traders on the floor, we show them how to do this. It's not just this. There's all kinds of methods or indications in the charting and Epic's charting. So it's fluid. But anyway, this is a little larger decision, and then there's another one down to the right of the screen that's real significant. I can't get you there. I mean, I could, I'm just not allowed under compliance. So, if oil trades in here, its decision then is on the 20th at 11:30 in the morning-ish. And then, of course, there's a much wider one down to the right. It just depends on where it's trading when it expires. But the point is why those are important is that when the time cycle does expire, if oil's in there, you'll find that it gets extremely volatile when it pops out either to the top or bottom, and that's how we primarily make our money. That's the main reason I just, like my batting average with my trades is, I think, most recently calculated at around 96% win rate. And of course, they're all documented properly, transparently. I'm a base hitter, though. I'm not a big hitter. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes here. It's getting up to this, it's a fairly important algo line there. It's definitely bullish. 5 minutes in after the report, so short covering is pretty much done. There's a video actually on here that shows like intraday, kind of those little quadrant areas. This one here, this one, a few of them do. Recent trades, how to trade intra, this one here. So this is in the algorithm reviews part. But you see those there? So it explains how to trade through. And that's what I was just showing you on the chart there. So how do you know where they are? You take these algorithm lines, and if it's trading there, just simply draw, or you just, you don't have to draw them once you understand how it works. So I know if oil trades in here, that as it gets near there, that's where it's going to pop or drop. And then on a wider frame here, pop or drop, and then, so the whole chart's made up of these. And that's one of the, well, it's one of the ways to make a significant income trading Epic. It has significant resistance and support ranges for the algorithmic model, more wide than what we're looking at. And those are much more predictable ways to trade the algorithm. So it's coming off a bit here, so it got right up underneath that, which isn't surprising. So this should trade in this range through the day. If it doesn't, it'll pop up and trade through this range. If it breaks down, then it's got a fair amount of room in the algorithm down into here, this line here. So then it's got a lot more width, and it may stay in here. So these diagonal lines are its trading range as far as the machines are concerned. So it would trade in here like this. And as it gets to the middle, this is called an apex on the algorithm. As it gets closer, see in here, it stays tight. You see how that happened there before the report. And then reports, well, of course, divergence happens easily there. But, failing the report, if the report wasn't there, what oil would do is it would typically trade in between here until it gets near that apex to the middle of that intraday quadrant. And then the machines kick in because the range is so big. That's where the money is made, intraday, in the middle of the quadrants. And anyway, that's what you would see there. So it's just a matter of where it's trading, and then once it pops out to the bottom or up side, then it's just, okay, we're into the next area of trade. These horizontal lines, these are all fibs and various support and resistance historically on conventional charting, right? So you see how it's coming down into here now? So right there, it just bounced off that support and back up. Now normally, if it wasn't around report time, it wouldn't be that aggressive. But now that it's coming, it's tested the support. It's not a bad long in here if you get a few minutes, because it'll, it should confirm up in there. But if it doesn't hold in here and it gets in here, it'll trade inside of this triangle right here. Or it'll trade in here. So it's just learning how it trades inside the quadrants. And then the question is, why would it do this? Well, you gotta understand kind of what's happening in the commodities and currencies marketplaces with high frequency trading. But oh, by the way, so this is not designed, like, this is just the model, right? And it's being tested. And the purpose is to get to an IA, so an intelligent assistant level, so a digital dashboard for our traders, not a high frequency AI. Although we are going there, it's just under its existing mandate model. Its intention is to be an intelligent assistant digital dashboard for our traders. So that's basically how Epic works. We have another 4 minutes or so before I've got to end the video and get to a few other things. I've got a midday review today at 12 o'clock in the room, and then I've got masterclass at 2. Before the week's out, I'm going to do another detailed video on Epic's trading, and also a really detailed one on our new gold algorithm, or our upgraded gold algorithm. It's also got miners in it. If anybody has any questions, you're certainly welcome to put them into the text part of this webinar and ask. Sorry, I was just watching this resistance here, see how it handles. Yeah, it's getting up through there. This might not be a bad long, So if you got, if you're not a member of Epic and you've got screensaver or whatever, just screen save, and at least you'll have a day's worth of trading range. But other than that, I can't show you the rest of the chart. Louis, I can't answer whether it's a buy or a long, short, or a sell or hold, because it changes on the algorithm, right? So it depends on where it is in the quadrant. So I trade the quadrants. So it's decision to decision as it moves, as price moves from one quadrant to the next. I trade the quadrants. So yeah, that's why you see me in and out, in and out, in and out on my trades, right? Now, our technicians will buy or sell at the major supports represented on the algorithm. But, outside of the trading quadrant that it's in right now, I can't share that because, of course, we're broadcasting to the world right now. So under our agreements, I can't do that. But you know where the trading ranges are based on the reports. So you know where your significant resistance is and where your significant support is for your trading range. Sorry, Louis, I wish I could tell you more. But the reports tell you, and your resistance tells you. So it's a long until it gets to that resistance, and then it's a short when it gets to that resistance, unless it blows through, and then it's a long again, and that's what it is. That's the beauty of the algorithm. Those algorithmic ranges, those wide ranges, are so predictable and so easy to trade because it's just, oh, it got to the wide range algorithm resistance. Okay, now I, trim and trail or close my long position until it makes a decision at resistance, and then I either short if it comes off or I go long again. And that's why our technicians have had absolutely zero problem accomplishing fantastic return. I mean, our private fund that we started is ecstatic how that's been going, with the wide ranges. So simple. But we have traders and other folks that want to trade the quadrants on the intraday. So of course I have to explain that too, and then the targets and the different ways. But the historical reports can show folks too if they're wondering. And Louis, I can always help you on DM. But I think you know based on the reports where your resistance is coming, or you should be cautious. So this is bullish in my thinking. So I think that helps folks get around and figure out what Epic's all about. And as far as the report's concerned, very bullish. And I'm not taking a trade right here, but I am definitely going to be more active than I have been the last day or so in oil because we're on the other side of the report now. And I like what I'm seeing here. So this is going to get really interesting in my opinion. Thanks for coming out for the report. And I hit stop on that recording for the report. Then I'm going to get back into day trading mode, and I'm going to leave my oil trading to the oil room. And if I have an oil trade, I'll be in the oil room to do that. So again, thanks for coming out, guys.